Hi guys, today we're doing stage makeup for kids.
Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to talk about children's stage makeup. Today we're going to be focusing primarily on lips, cheeks, and eyes because that's really what you see from the audience. That's where all the expressions are in someone's face. I don't think foundation is always necessary for a child. Their skin is pretty even, like hers, isn't it pretty? And foundation is just one more thing for a kid to get messy, to get on their costumes, to sweat off. It's unnecessary. Plus, some kids can't sit still for more than 5 minutes, so adding another step to the makeup process just makes it more stressful for you at home. If the director of the production your child's in wants them to wear foundation, I have 2 other videos for you to check out. One is about the Ben Nye stage makeup kit, and the other is the Mehron stage makeup kit. Those are great resources talking about how to use those foundations, contouring, highlights, and I do mention children's makeup in there quite a bit. I have them both in the links below. This video we're going to talk primarily about children and how to deal with their cute little faces and their squirmy behavior if they are that way, which you won't be. We won't have a problem, but I'll talk to you about that in this video. I'm also a big fan on children doing their own makeup once they hit, I don't know, like 9 or 10. If you're always doing it for them, they're never gonna figure out how to do it themselves. And if they plan on being in theater for a while, it's good for them to practice now, might as well. You can always touch it up if it gets messy. So one of the hardest things people find for children's stage makeup is the eyeliner. And I think one of the main reasons it's so hard for people is because the kids feel like something sharp and pokey is coming at their face, so they're constantly moving away from you. I think one of the biggest things is to make sure the child is comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, they'll never be comfortable. So I have Maya here in a tall chair. This is like a bar stool so that I'm not bending over and uncomfortable. So then I'm more relaxed and happy, and she's more relaxed and happy. Also, with eyeliner specifically, I find a lot of eyeliner is pokey and you have to push kind of hard. It starts to pull on their skin and it's uncomfortable for them. This is the CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus in Espresso 210. And this is a great color because it's a nice dark brown. Most children, black would be too harsh on them and a lighter color might not show up. So a nice dark brown like this espresso is great. Also, it comes in a twisty top like this, so you don't have to sharpen it. It's like a mechanical pencil. And it's also really creamy and goes on smoothly. So I'm not pulling and tugging at her skin at all. I got ahead of myself. We're gonna start with a headband to keep the hair out of her face. Generally, the eyelids are pretty small on kids, so the bottom eyeliner is actually more important than the top. So I want you to look up, try to focus on something on the ceiling. Oh, she's doing such a good job. When you're in the inner corner, you can ask them to look up that direction, and when you're the outer corner, they can be looking the opposite direction. So you always want their eyes in a different direction than where your pencil is. Now, some people say to extend the eyeliner out, and that's fine. I just don't want it to ever get droopy. Do you see? Look straight ahead for a minute. Sometimes when people start to pull the eyeliner out, like in a cat eye, which I'll show in the top eyeliner, it starts to droop down. So it's more important for me that the eyeliner goes in an upward angle. Look up again. I'm not pushing that hard and it's coming off onto her face really easily. You're doing really well at holding still, oh my gosh. This is like angel child. But did that poke or hurt in any way? Did it feel like the skin was pulling or like your eyes were getting poked? Because nobody wants to feel like their eyes are being poked. But this is so creamy and gentle, it's not a problem. So now close your eyes. Do you see how relaxed her eyes are? Normally, do a more scrunchy closed eye. Kids a lot of times close their eyes like this, and it's really hard to access that skin right above their lash line. So tell them to relax their eyes, and then you can even lift really gently with your thumb on the eyebrow like this, just to pull it a little taut. Think about when you're signing a t-shirt at the end of camp and you're trying to write your name and the t-shirt keeps wiggling and it creates these little wrinkles and dips. Well, that's kind of what you're doing when the skin is really soft. So I'm going past her lash line a little bit to create a cat eye, but it's not anything crazy. So this side I'm not doing as good of a job, but that's okay. This thickness is fine. If you have a skinny paintbrush, you can kind of smudge that out a little bit. You almost made it look like a liquid eyeliner. And then have them keep their eyes closed for just a little bit while it dries, because if they open their eyes, you're gonna get brown up here. But if that happens, it's okay. This is makeup. This is not a tattoo. You can go back with a Q-tip. It's not an issue. So open your eye. So you can see eyelet on this side. I had the point go out a little bit more than on this side. I didn't. I ended right at the lash line. Because of her eye shape, when I do a cat eye and go past her lash line, it starts to go in a downward position, and I don't like that because I think it makes the eyes look droopy. So I'm just gonna smudge it off. So what's nice about this pencil is it's so creamy that you can smudge it off, but once it dries, it stays in place and it doesn't smudge off super easily, so you just have to wait a few minutes. You could put some mascara on her if you wanted to, but that's not necessary. Okay, so we're gonna move on to eyebrows. Eyebrows are extremely important because that's one of the most expressive places on your face. Her hair is really dark, but you don't want to use an eyebrow pencil any darker than this dark brown. If she were blonde, look for light brown or taupe. Those are great colors for eyebrows. I'm gonna focus on the top of her brow. I'm not gonna fill in all the way to here. We're just doing the top, doing little strokes. Do you see how when she opened her eyes, this came up to here? We're gonna have to wipe that off. Now, one technique I didn't think to do until right now was after you apply the eyeliner, you can take a little tissue and blot the top of it like you would blot lipstick. That's a good technique to use to make sure this doesn't happen, where the transfer to her eyelid doesn't happen. If you're going to do eyeshadow, make sure it's a matte color, no shimmer or glitter. So these are great. You can get an inexpensive Maybelline or CoverGirl palette at a drugstore. So one of the issues people have with kids is their faces are so tiny. Well, then you need to use smaller brushes. This is a light taupe or a light brown that I'm putting just to her eyelid. I'm allowing it to overlap with the eyeliner. You could also do this before you do the eyeliner. And the way you know how far to go up is because I can feel her eyeball right here. Say I'm pushing in. I wouldn't normally push in. I just want to show you how when you push in the skin right here, this is where her natural crease would be if her eyes were more deep set. You don't want to go higher than this because that will look weird and it'll blend into her eyebrows. So eyeshadow is completely optional. The only reason you would do it is it helps give your eyes a little bit more dimension. You can also do a highlight eyeshadow color right here, going with a light color here, like a bone color right underneath the eyebrows. So this is where the highlight is, and then you have the brown along her lash line and up to her crease. So again, the eyeshadow is optional. What's more important is to get the eyeliner and the eyebrows. Blush, we want to apply a color that looks natural on her. So somewhere around here would look good. Now, if it was a ballet, you'd probably go for the more pinky, bright colors. But this is more for musical theater or a play at school. Smile for a minute. So this is the apples of the cheeks. You always hear people talking about it. The reason I don't always say follow the apples of the cheeks is some people think that means to apply blush all the way to here, where you see this little line when she smiles. You don't want to go that far. You want to go about as far as the pupil or the iris. You don't want the blush to start creeping to the nose area. So you create a little circle, and then you can push the excess up to the cheekbone here. I'm not doing full contour highlight. We're using the blush to represent kind of the contour of her face. Now, on some stages, this might not be dark enough, so I'm going to show you a darker color. But if this was, 1 or 200 seat theater, this is good. My goal is to not make it look like she's wearing makeup on stage. From the audience perspective, she's supposed to be just like a normal kid. It wouldn't look like she's wearing makeup. So you want to go with something really natural like this. If you were on a bigger stage and the director is saying, we can't see her cheeks well enough, then let's go a little darker to this color. To this one right here. Instead of going for a blush like the color of her top, I'm going for something a little more brick, just because her skin is very warm and olive. If she was more pale like me, I might go with something with this undertone. I might go for one of these, possibly. You might notice a slight shimmer in this blush. I don't usually recommend shimmer on stage because it might make you look sweaty. You want the color to be where her skin would naturally turn pink if she were happy and running around. You kind of want to go with something that you think their lips would naturally look like if their lips were sunburned or they've been biting on them. For stage, we want a little more color. Yeah. And if this doesn't look natural enough, then go with something a little lighter. It really depends on the lighting in that particular space. This is her mom's MAC lipstick. If I were to just take this and put this on her lips, it might be harder for me to control because her mouth is so small. So if you use a brush, like a lipstick brush, and you just touch it to the lipstick like this and apply it on their mouth, that you have a lot more control and it's a lot easier. Or if you buy something like a lip crayon, I'm gonna put a picture on the screen, that will give you a lot more control when you're applying it on their small little lips.
They look pretty.
One of the other issues I hear people talking about is their children mess up the makeup that they put on their face. You're less likely to mess something up when you don't put so much on. A big issue is foundation gets on their clothes or rubs off. Well, we didn't put foundation on her. We don't have to worry about that. I don't usually put foundation on kids until they're like early pre-teens, when they start to maybe have acne that you want to cover, or let's say they have a sunburn and you want to cover that. But generally, children's skin tone is pretty even. Unless they're really, really pale like me. Generally, once you add some color to the face with blush and lipstick, you don't need to wear a darker foundation. I hear a lot of people say that, always wear a darker foundation than your skin tone. But that'll just rub off and get on the costumes and be a pain in the butt, which is not necessary for this. So I use the CoverGirl eyeliner in this. Another eyeliner I like to use, but some people might find harder, is a cream. So something in a pot like the MAC cream eyeliner, or this is Inglot, and it's dark brown, and you use a skinny brush like this, and I paint it on. I find that that's easier to work with sometimes. But a big thing, like I mentioned earlier, is just to make sure it's something comfortable and you're not pressing really hard on their face. Something I forgot to mention earlier, I left a little space. Having this space between the top eyeliner and the bottom eyeliner helps make the white of their eyes look bigger. This is a completed stage makeup look for a straight play or a musical like Annie or Music Man, or whatever it is that your child might be in. If your child is a dancer, like a ballerina or in a dance performance, they might want to go with a more dramatic look. They might want to add glitter or use a really bright bubblegum pink, but the same techniques still apply. It's just a different color choice.
One more thing to mention for squirmy children especially, if they keep moving away from you so that you can't apply their makeup, gently hold the back of their head and guide them to the position you want their head to be in. You can also try having them lean against a wall or even lie down on the ground for stability. This won't be as comfortable for you, so it's not optimal, but it is an option.
So what are your questions about stage makeup for children? Write them down in the comments. We would love to make another video for you, so you need to let us know what you want to learn. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Hey guys, if you liked our video, please subscribe and comment down below. Share with your friends. Bye!